In 2026, the situation in the Middle East has once again become the center of global attention. After years of rising tensions, Israel and the United States launched a joint operation targeting Iran's military infrastructure, pushing the entire region toward a dangerous new turning point. This conflict has not only challenged regional stability, but has also created a serious test for global peace. For some time now, Israel has expressed deep concern over Iran's missile program and the advancement of its military technology. Israel has maintained that Iran could pose potential security threats in the future, while the United States, which has long been Israel's closest military ally, has also been closely monitoring the situation. Diplomatic talks and international negotiations were held multiple times, but no sustainable solution acceptable to all parties could be achieved. As 2026 began, an increase in military activity was observed across the region. According to intelligence reports, Iran had accelerated work on new missile bases and underground facilities to strengthen its defense systems. This development alerted both Israel and the United States. The situation became even more critical when surveillance systems detected certain military movements that were seen as potential threats. Toward the end of February, reports began to emerge late at night that advanced fighter jets from Israel and the United States were heading toward various strategic military targets in Iran. Within a short time, loud explosions were heard near desert regions and military installations. Air defense systems were immediately activated, and anti-aircraft fire lit up the sky. Command centers and missile storage facilities were targeted, from where future operations could potentially be conducted. During this operation, electronic warfare systems were also used, temporarily disrupting communication networks. Radar installations and surveillance stations came under increasing pressure. The sound of fighter jets in the darkness of night and rising smoke in the distance indicated that the situation was rapidly moving out of control. Within hours of the attack, Iran prepared its response. Military command activated emergency protocols and decided to launch ballistic missiles and armed drones. Missiles were fired from multiple launch sites and were seen heading toward regional targets. Drone surveillance systems also increased activity, initiating aerial monitoring operations. Missile defense systems attempted to intercept incoming threats. Some missiles were destroyed midair, while others impacted near their intended targets. During this time, regional military bases were placed on high alert, and civil defense authorities began implementing emergency measures. The effects of this conflict were not limited to the battlefield alone. Global oil markets reacted immediately, and energy supply chains began to feel the impact. International flight routes were temporarily altered, and maritime security was strengthened. Media outlets around the world began closely monitoring the rapidly evolving situation. The international community quickly intensified diplomatic efforts. Emergency meetings were called to consider various proposals aimed at de-escalating the crisis. However, the reality on the ground was that tensions continued to rise, and each passing moment made the situation more complex. Civilians in the region also began to feel the effects of the conflict. Panic spread in certain areas, and people started taking safety precautions. Reports of infrastructure damage also surfaced, particularly in areas close to military installations where blast waves affected nearby buildings. This entire situation has once again forced the world to consider whether this conflict could escalate into a full-scale regional war, or whether diplomatic efforts will succeed in preventing further escalation. Military analysts suggest that if tensions continue to increase at the current pace, the situation could become even more dangerous. Today, the eyes of the entire world are fixed on the Middle East. Every new development holds significance for international security. The coming days will determine whether this conflict remains a limited military confrontation or evolves into a much larger war.